Hello, world. It's Saturday, January 14, 2023. I thought I'd just take a moment and talk about religious trauma. I see a lot of TikTok posts on religious trauma, and it's very real. A lot of people have experienced it. I've experienced it. In fact, I would go so far as to say that my religious trauma was self-induced. And sure, I had a lot of people helping to reinforce that within the church. But I definitely was starting off on the foot that I wanted to find truth. And when I came to the conviction that faith made more sense at the time than scientific methodology and using my rational mind and critical thinking, I used faith as my lens for critical thinking. And that is how I came to believe, quite literally, everything in the Bible. I was a fundamentalist. So carry that for 14 years in taking everything on faith and still having questions. I never stopped having questions, but faith and apologetics were the answers to questions that I had with my faith. It got to a point when I started to dig deeper into the Bible, which I had read numerous times, at least 3 at the point of when I started really questioning my faith. Digging deeper, I started to use the critical thinking and the scientific methodology and the rational mind that I had suspended in favor of faith. And of course, I was told, oh, you need to just have more faith. You can't use your carnal mind to interpret spiritual things. The two realms are different, the physical and the spiritual. And I'm like, yeah, but I'm starting to think that it may not be so accurate in reality. And thus began the beginning, of my downfall, and as far as faith was concerned. And now I consider it having been one of the most uplifting things I could have done for myself, because I'm way happier, have a lot more friends that are meaningful and helpful and loving beyond what I knew in the church. Not to say there weren't loving people in the church and caring people in the church. There were. And some of them I miss greatly. But I find that I have a much happier walk in life, and knowing that in the end I'll return to the ground and be there for billions of years until the earth is consumed by the sun, which, what is that, in approximately 7.6 billion years the earth will no longer exist because it will be burned up by the sun. Study that science. But anyway, so I feel really bad for those that have experienced the trauma after, dealing with religion at the time of religion, or contemplating leaving it, and the stress you're going through with people who are, in the church telling you all the bad things if you consider leaving. It is worth the leap, I will say. You'll just have to, make a point of meeting new people who are supportive instead of through the church. And that was something I definitely had to learn pretty quick. Just make sure they're the right people. Don't lose your sense of judgment for good taste, and people to be around. I love all people, and some people are unlovable, I will admit, and that's okay. They just haven't found their way through life yet and dealing with it the best way they know how. But as far as trauma is concerned, I went through a great depression of my own. I was, depressed because Christianity was my identity. Being a son of God, if you will, in a mortal sense, was everything to me. Wanting to be a saint and not to displease God by having to put Jesus back on the cross for my sins, so to speak. I wanted to be worthy as a slave of God. And if you're unfamiliar with the Bible interpretation, a lot of Bibles, like the King James Version, use the word servant in the New Testament, when referring to those who serve Christ. The actual Greek word is doulos, which always means slave. So Christ wants slaves. He's constantly talking about slaves, being mindful listeners of their masters and doing what their masters say, being good slaves. So yes, the actual interpretation is being a slave, of which, yeah, I definitely wanted to be a good one. Boy, if that wasn't a mind screw, I don't know what was. But with losing that identity and knowing how everything worked and where I was going to going, oh my gosh, all of this is not true, it shook me to my core. I treated myself very badly in a lot of substance abuse, both liquid and powder and other pill forms. I stopped caring for my physical health. I stopped caring about my hygiene, other than having to go to work and doing the necessity to just go to work. Like showering, brushing my teeth, all that good stuff. I wasn't into it. So when I ended up becoming disabled in 2014, I neglected, my teeth, which you can clearly see, and, neglected, maintaining a healthy weight. I got up to 304 pounds when I had my last heart attack. And now, and that was October 21 of 2022. And here it is, January 14, 2023. I am proud to say I've lost 43 pounds through diet and exercise. I only take one day off a week, so I'm very happy with that. But it took me a long time, years, decades, to recover after losing my faith. And my downfall started in the year 2000. I finally called it quits in 2002. I was what I would call an agnostic deist at that point in time, which I maintained up until about the year 2020, when I finally became an atheist, an agnostic atheist. I still can't prove one way or the other whether there's a God or not a God, but based on available data and evidence, there just isn't. And I am very convicted that the God of the Bible is not the God, if there is a God. That I'm very clear on. But is there an intelligent designer? I don't know. And honestly, I really don't care, because it hasn't made itself known. And that's fine. But anyway, people can recover. I think it's really important to understand delusion and how delusion comes about, how we believe in the delusions that we understand. And again, mine was self-induced. I can't blame anybody for what I chose to believe. Nobody made me believe anything. I was convicted, and that is what faith it takes. Belief takes conviction. It isn't something that you go, okay, I'm just going to believe. It doesn't work like that. It takes conviction. And like I said, I became convicted at one time that faith was, what it was all about, and later said, no, that's just utter foolishness. Quite honestly, it's absurd. But anyway, yes, you can recover. If you ever have questions and want to talk or discuss about anything, or, just pop me a question, send me a video. I'll be happy to respond in the best way that I can. And anyway, I like to just end my message in saying, be kind to each other, make this world a better place. We can do it. Be charitable. And that's one of the wonderful things I can appreciate about Christianity, is all the charitable efforts that many of them make, and some of them do it without strings attached, which is fantastic. Others do have strings attached. You have to listen to their preaching and stuff, or commit to not doing something or whatever. But anyway, I'm much happier today, and I'm really proud to say that you can do it too. All right? Take good care. Love on each other in a good, healthy way. All right? Bye.